Welcome to all. This is S. Muthukumar from Department of Mathematics, K.S.Rangasamy College of Technology. In this video, I am going to explain about the different types of graphs. What is meant by graph? A graph G, set of ordered pairs V, E, where V is a vertex set and E is a edge set. Each edge has two vertices associated with it. It is called endpoints. The order of G is defined by the number of vertices involved in that graph, and the size of a graph is defined by the number of edges occurred in that graph. Loop. If there is an edge from vertex Vi to Vi, then the corresponding edge is known as loop. That is, here this E1 edge is loop. Parallel edges are edges having the same endpoints. That means if there exist two different edges between the same end vertices, then the edges are known as parallel edges. Simple graph. A graph which has neither self loop nor multiple edges or parallel edges is called a simple graph. Multigraph. A graph which contains some parallel edges is called a multigraph. Pseudograph. A graph in which parallel edges and self loops are allowed, then the graph is known as pseudograph. Directed graph. If the direction of the edge is denoted, then the graph is known as directed graph. Otherwise, it is an undirected graph. Simple directed graph. When a directed graph has loops, no loops and no multiple directed edges, it is called a simple directed graph. So this is a simple directed graph. There is no loops and multiple directed edges. Weighted graph. A graph in which weights are associated to every edge is called a weighted graph. So in this example, the edge between V1 and V2, its weight is 4. So here all the edges are given some weights. So it is a weighted graph. Next one, null graph. A graph with no edges is called an empty graph or null graph. That means the graph contains only the vertices. Trivial graph. A graph with only one vertex is known as trivial graph. Mixed graph. So if some edges are directed and some edges are undirected in a graph, then the graph is known as mixed graph. So this is the example for mixed graph. Here the edge E1 is not directed and E3 is directed. So it is a mixed graph. Finite graph. A graph with finite number of vertices as well as finite number of edges is called a finite graph. That means its size of order and weight of the graph. both are can be calculated. Otherwise it is an infinite graph. Isolated vertex. In any graph, a vertex which is not adjacent to any other vertex is called an isolated vertex. For example, so this is vertex 5. So it is an isolated vertex. Pendant vertex. If the degree of the vertex is 1, then it is known as pendant vertex. Here V1 is called known as pendant vertex. Adjacent and incident vertices. Two vertices U and V in an undirected graph are called adjacent vertices if U and V are endpoints of an edge CG. Degree of a vertex. The degree of a vertex in an undirected graph is the number of edges incident with it, except that loop at a vertex contributes twice to the degree of that vertex. The degree of the vertex V is denoted by d of V or dEg of V. The minimum of all edges of the vertices of a graph G is denoted by delta of G, and the maximum of all degrees of a graph G is denoted by delta of G. Now see the example. For the vertex 1, the degree is 3. There are 3 edges connected. For vertex 2, the degree is 4. Even though here connected 3 edges, the edge 3, 8 is a self loop. So it contributes weightage 2 to the degree of vertex 2. So its degree is 4. Next one, pendant edge. An edge incident with a pendant vertex is called a pendant edge. Here E2 is the pendant edge. Because of V2 is the pendant vertex, E2 is connected with V2. Next one, label graph. A graph in which each vertex is assigned a unique name or label is called a label graph. So these are the different types of graphs. Thank you.